morning, Ghana. Good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful Monday morning. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning. Sorry. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning, and you are welcome to the GhanaTalks Breakfast Show right here on GhanaTalks Radio. It's a new month, and we are so grateful to be in the new month. It's the 7th month of the year. We have just 5 months more to go, and the year comes to an end, and we are in 2026. Well, you are welcome to the news headline review. Here we bring you all the relevant stories making waves in the news, from business to politics, from sports to entertainment. We got you covered with the most relevant stories, and I can't do this alone. I have sitting in the chair here with me Miss Regina Bless, here to share her perspective and opinions on the stories we have up front. Good morning, Miss Regina.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
I'm fine. You see, I said beautiful Monday morning.
You wanted to say Friday.
Friday?
Yes, because I heard and then I heard Monday, then Tuesday. I was like, wow.
You can see that. I can't wait for the week to end.
And God being so good, Friday is a holiday.
Friday is a holiday, but we are still on the grind. You know that, right?
Yeah. At least it would console our soul.
Yeah. In as much as we are in a hurry for the weekend to come up, but the year is also running so fast.
Yeah. So when you got something to do, this is the time you need to do it. Don't procrastinate.
Exactly. Procrastination is a thief of time, they say.
Yeah.
And they say if you are owing someone and you tell the person, I'll pay 1 year.
Yeah.
1 year. 1 year is just around the corner.
Exactly.
Yeah. And today happens to be National
Republic.
Today is National Prayer Day.
Prayer.
Yeah.
I know that today is National Republic Day.
National Republic Day.
And it's still Prayer Day.
Prayer Day.
Oh, wow.
So, Chief Imam will be praying with some Muslims and some Christians as well. They said you can go and join them in prayer. Alright, go and pray for Ghana. Very necessary. Alright, so let's dive straight into our news headlines for this morning. Government targets the construction of 600 CHPS compounds by the end of 2025. The government has announced plans to construct approximately 600 community-based health planning and services compounds across the country by the end of 2025 as part of its effort to expand access to primary health care. Minister of State in charge of government communication, Felix Kwache Ofosu, said the initiative will see each district constructing 2 new CHPS compounds this year. He stated each district is required to construct 2 new CHPS compounds this year. Altogether, that amounts to about 600 CHPS compounds in 2025 alone. If we sustain this momentum, we could exceed 2,000 CHPS compounds over the next 4 years. Kwache also described the move as a major step toward improving healthcare delivery, especially in undeserved and rural communities. Yeah, so that is coming from Kwache Ofosu. Let's digest the story. Maybe you might not understand. Let me help you understand it. So the government has announced plans to construct 600 community-based health planning and services compounds by the end of 2025. This forms part of a broader national agenda to expand access to quality primary health care, particularly in the rural and undeserved areas. So according to the Minister of State in charge of Government Communication, Felix Kwache Ofosu, the strategy will involve each district building 2 new CHPS, which is the Community-Based Health Planning and Services compounds this year. The minister emphasized that if this momentum continues, over 2,000 CHPS compounds could be constructed nationwide within 4 years, and this initiative is to decentralize healthcare delivery, reduce pressure on hospitals, and bring medical services closer to people, improving health outcomes to remote areas. I hope you get it now. Community-based health planning and services compounds, and this is to serve those in the rural urban areas to reduce pressure in the big hospitals we have in the district. Now, before I go to what you want me to say, Miss Regina, what is your take?
What do you want to say?
What I want to say is that how different is this from the Agenda 111 that the previous government initiated? But before that, I want to hear your thoughts on it. Before we come to how different is it. Maybe I'm not seeing the difference, but you are.
I think there's no difference. It's still the same thing. Agenda 111 still boils down to access to healthcare facilities, and the CHPS also boils down to access to healthcare facilities. But I think Agenda 111, I don't have much to say about it, but looking at the CHPS, it's especially, I think they are focused mainly on rural areas, because rural areas especially do not have health facilities, making it very difficult for the residents or people in the communities to have access to health facilities or hospitals or clinics or pharmacies and all that. There are times without numbers that we've heard of people, especially people in the rural areas, complaining bitterly about not having access to health facilities. Some, especially pregnant women, they would have to travel a long distance just to go and deliver. Just imagine a pregnant woman in labor. She's already going through pains, and you would have to first of all, their roads are not well constructed. They have bumpy roads. So just imagine a pregnant woman in a vehicle on a bumpy road while she's going through a hard time. First off, it doesn't make sense, and secondly, we are imposing more danger or more pain on these people. So with the CHPS, their main focus is rural areas. I think that is a great thing, because health facility in every constituency or in every community should be available regardless of where you are, regardless of your constituency, regardless of your institution, regardless of wherever you find yourself in that jurisdiction. It should be a facility that is accessible to all. You shouldn't have your town here and your hospital is far away. No, it doesn't make sense. So what if there's an issue of emergency? So I would say the CHPS, it's good. Yes, it's good. But as you are saying, what is the difference between the CHPS and the Agenda 111? It's still the same thing. Or are they trying to say they are resetting Ghana, so they've changed the Agenda 111 to the CHPS? And I remember the president currently said that he's trying to involve with other people, stakeholders, politicians, national Christian leaders and all that, to come together and try to complete the Agenda 111 project. The same money you would invest into the CHPS is the same money you would invest into the Agenda 111 project. This is not the time for us to politicize things, but in as much as you want your government to look good in the eyes of people, or you want your government to look good in the eyes of Ghanaians, but we already have this initiative down. This initiative is already in existence. So the best thing for you to do is to complete the Agenda 111. It's still the same thing. Agenda 111 boils down to people having access to health facilities, either in the urban or in the rural areas. CHPS is also the same thing. It boils down to the same thing. This is not, in fact, different goals. This is the same goals, same end results, but just different names. Agenda 111, CHPS.
Wow.
So it's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
Because reading on the Agenda 111, the main objective of the Agenda 111 is to ensure that Ghanaians in every district and region in the country have access to quality healthcare and services. And I believe these urban areas also have districts.
Exactly.
So if the hospital is in the districts, they will also have access to that. So why again will this party come into power? Why don't they channel their energy or the money they'll use to construct the new CHPS rather to complete the agenda 111? Because from what I know, some of the agenda 111 buildings have not been completed. Some are underway, but they have not been completed. That at least the foundation is there. So why don't you just pick it up from there rather than you going to start from scratch? Like, you get it? It's serving the same objective but different names. That was the only thing. Like, I see it as it stands right now. So yeah, they should look into that again. 2,000 hospitals by the end of the 4 years, or by the end of 2025. Come on.
2025.
Yeah, that's what he said 600 hospitals by the end of 2025. And if they should maintain the momentum, it's going to get to 2,000 by the end of the 4 years they are going to be in power. The 2,000 hospitals that they are going to build, can you sustain them? Can you even maintain them? Because the hospital is going to be a lot, and then the equipment, the personnel that are supposed to be in those hospitals, maybe you might not get them. In as much as
the personnel, they would get them, because
what about the equipment?
A lot of health personnel are still at home as it stands now, nurses, midwives, and all that. So I think they would get them, but maybe they have plans for the equipment, because as it stands now, even some existing hospitals still complain of not having hospital beds. And I've seen instances where a sick patient was supposed to sleep on the floor. A sick patient at that. So it's bad. They need to consider all these things. Maybe they have their way really planned out. So let's wish them all the best.
We are not disputing the fact that it's a good move. But here lies the case. We have Agenda 111. The hospitals haven't been completed, and then we are in a situation whereby some hospitals have been completed, but they don't have the equipment, they don't have the personnel. What about those hospitals too? That is them wasting like money. So the hospitals are going to be there bare like that, and then you also come. Oh, come on, come on, NDC, come on. This one, dear, they have to look into it again. Unless maybe someone comes with another opinion to best convince me that what they are doing is for a good cause. It's for a good cause, but the way they are doing it is not nice. Honestly, it's not nice. All right. Moving on to our next news story. Education Minister tags Ghana Library Authority Council to build presidential libraries. Minister of Education Haruna Idrisu has tasked the newly inaugurated governing board of the Ghana Library Authority to spearhead the construction of presidential libraries in honor of all past presidents of the Republic. Mr. Idrisu expressed concern over the lack of adequate information resources on former president, noting that the initiative would be a significant step toward preserving Ghana's national memory and promoting public knowledge of the country's democratic journey. The minister made the remarks when he inaugurated the governing board of the Ghana Library Authority, chaired by Dr. Michael Ato Esumani in Accra. The minister charged the members to reimagine and modernize Ghana's public library system to reflect the demands of a rapidly evolving knowledge-driven society. He encouraged the council to initiate public-private partnership to establish libraries in rural communities and expand the scope to cover the free senior high school policy. Mr. Idrisu emphasized the crucial role of libraries in advancing science, technology, engineering, and mathematics education, particularly as the country prepared its human capital for the opportunities and challenges of the fourth industrial revolution. The minister urged the board to lead national efforts in fostering a renewed culture of reading, particularly among the youth, and promote digital literacy across the country. He noted that libraries must move beyond their traditional functions and become innovative, technology-enabled learning. So the Minister of Education, Haruna Idrisu, has tasked the newly inaugurated governing board of the Ghana Library Authority with a visionary project to construct presidential libraries in honor of all former presidents of Ghana. This initiative is aimed at preserving Ghana's democratic history, promoting civic education, and enhancing national memory through accessible public knowledge. This is also coming from Education Minister. A, they should construct a library purposely for past presidents. Whereas in a case, when you go to libraries, they have demarcated the buildings into section. So if you want science, you go to a particular a section or maybe a cubicle, and there are only science books. When you want mathematics, you go to that same cubicle and you have mathematics. When you go to history, you go to that particular section and you have only history. So why don't you make it like that? So if we demarcate the library also, if you want to research on Ghana's past presidents, you go to that section and then we have only those books talking about Ghana's past presidents, our culture and our history. Why don't we do it like that rather than constructing a new library? Wow. Education Minister. Miss Regina, what are your thoughts on this? This is serious.
What Ghana needs currently is not what our education minister is offering. In as much as he's an education minister, he needs to bring initiatives in regards to education. But as it stands now, what he's bringing on board is a want and not a need. Because we are facing a whole lot of crisis as it stands now.
You get it?
And you are bringing up this thing. Construct with whose money? With whose money? Because as I was saying, it is not a need, it is a want. It is a want in the sense that this is something you need to construct or you need to build up from scratch. If you get me, you need to build this thing from scratch. As she said, you can say, oh, the Ghana Library Association should bring up a spot or a place in that same library for that same thing. But you shouldn't just build a library just in respect to these presidents. We are not saying that these presidents are not important or these past presidents. They are important. But this is not the time for that. If you do whatever you need to do in your country and there's excess money, you are lavishing around, you are already developed, that is when you bring up that initiative. But as it stands out, they can still find a spot in a library or in any kind of library for that. In as much as this would help, especially people who would delve into political cause, people, researchers, and all that is to promote education. But as it stands now, it is not necessary. No. It is not necessary. It's a no. And I believe that most of Ghanaians wouldn't appreciate this. You can just go in talk with these people. Oh, give us a spot mainly for this, and you would get it. But a whole president no more saying Ghana could build a whole building. Books no going do 100.
And even looking at the kind of world we are evolving. We are in the technological world. Right now, if you need anything, it's all about you going digital. You pick your phone and then you research and you are good to go. And you are now coming to Bodka and go to a library to go and look for an information of a president, or you are going to read about it.
Well, even now, when you go on Google, you get any information you
like
want.
It's there. Even ChatGPT will give you.
Kufuor, at Samos in Nkrumah, you get everything. Our presidents in Ghana here are not even up to 20, are not even up to 15.
You get it.
So why should you build a whole building for these people? Hey, Nangamu fancy school. Nangamu fancy school.
But they should invest the money into maybe something technology to talk about these past presidents. Maybe there's going to be a link, or they are going to update it, upgrade it, or whatever way they can do it digitally, they can do it. Rather than building a whole building, like constructing a whole building, that is quite expensive. Because you are the same people that came into power and said that the economy is in shambles. So if the economy is in shambles, why don't we manage what we have? Rather than going for, I mean, come on.
Just well.
And I won't be surprised if this building comes up and then they will say it's being politicized. You go to their library and maybe you are going to look for a particular information about this president. You will not find it, and it will be like, yeah.
For library, they will make everything accessible.
But, Reggie, if you need an information about a president, won't you just pick your phone? The last time I needed information about election was what? Did I not just pick my phone? Didn't I get those info? So if I need an information about a president, why won't I just pick my phone? People are even sitting in their house and they are working from home. We have online libraries. I think that is what is working now, rather than constructing a whole building. Come on. They should rethink it. They should think about it again. For me, I feel like this government, whenever they want to bring an initiative on board, there's no proper communication or engagement with stakeholders, or they don't convey a survey or do a proper market research to find out if this is what people really need. Because looking at the educational system right now, is it presidential library that we need right now? Come on, let's be serious in this country. Moving on to our next story. Let me calm down first. All right, moving on. UTAG charges JTech to clamp down and prosecute fake degree holders. The University Teachers Association of Ghana has urged the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission to take decisive legal action against individuals and institutions involved in the spread and misuse of fake academic degrees and titles. In a statement issued on Thursday, June 26th, UTAG expressed deep concern over what it termed as the increasing abuse and misrepresentation of honorary doctorate and fraudulent academic certificates. The association condemned the trend, warning that it threatens the credibility of Ghana's higher education system and disrespects the scholarly efforts of legitimate academics. UTAG stated, these actions not only trivialize the rigorous scholarly processes associated with legitimate academic qualifications, but also erode public trust in higher education and its regulatory institutions. UTAG specifically called on JTech to intensify its monitoring and regulatory role and not hesitate to initiate legal prosecution where applicable. The association emphasized that sanctions alone are not enough, that deterrent legal measures must be taken to halt the growing illegality surrounding academic fraud. We urge you to intensify the clampdown, including legal prosecution where applicable. This statement came from GTech. This call comes amid a rise in individuals brandizing fake academic titles to gain influence in public life, media, and professional settings, often without scrutiny. UTAG fears the trend is creating a distorted standard for academic achievement and enabling public deception. The association pledged full support to GhanaTalks in effort to clean up the sector and encourage all relevant stakeholders from public agencies to universities to play an active role in defending academic integrity. In addition to the prosecution, UTAG called for clearer internal guidelines within universities on the awarding of honorary degrees and for these to be publicly communicated as non-academic recognition. So this is coming from UTAG to GhanaTalks to clamp down and prosecute fake degree holders. Is it by force? Like, if you didn't go to school, in as much as education is important, if you didn't get a degree, is it by force that you have to go and fake fake degree? Hey, people people have the audacity. Wow. Miss Eugenia, what are your thoughts on this?
It's good. People is it GTech? Yeah. They really need to take strong action against these people, because I would say that in our case, our education sector is not being respected. Anyone can just wake up one day and put the title doctor on their names. Anyone can just wake up and put the title professor on their names, but they don't know that they need to go through the legal process, that is education, and you need to be awarded with that honorary title before you can have access to it. In as much as it is, should I say, a title online, even I can create a social media account and put that on my name, Dr. Regina, Professor Regina, yes, but it's yeah, laughing, but it's wrong. It's wrong. I can be arrested, but it looks like there are not any legal legal punishment for that. That is why these people go scot-free, and this also boils down to, should I say, this also boils down to people stealing other people's positions. Because you'd just get a fake degree, and the one who has suffered to be in school to get that degree is supposed to be in that position you are, but you go ahead, falsify your documents, and go in, what is it called, ship in a wolf clothing.
Yes.
Thinking that you are taking other people's positions. So I do agree they should arrest these people, prosecute them, and even detain them. But before they do that, they should make sure that they have a legal framework governing this. Because as it stands now, I've not seen any kind of punishments, legal punishments in regards to this. Why should I falsify a degree document if deep down I know that I'm not qualified for that? I've not even go through any kind of education. I can't remember, just within, was it last month? Yes, within last month, one of GTech, I think, warned one of a public figure to make sure that he comes to them and give them documents that signifies or that proves that, yes, the doctor on his name is real. And also to the education sectors, you don't just also wake up and just give anybody doctor and professor title just like that. Sometimes a bit more fata sa title no. They come on they come into the public sectors and say a whole lot of things. Then you just imagine Dr. Paneka say, Professor Paneka say. So this is high time, it's high time they put respect on such names, because it is a respectable title. So if you want it, you need to work hard for it. And you know, surprisingly, those who don't work hard for it are the ones who always tarnish that image. Yeah. But I believe that people who go through difficulties to gain that title, they make sure that they protect that image or they protect that title. So yes, I do agree with them.
Getting a degree is not easy.
It's not easy.
Diploma is not easy. The stress you go through, and then you get that degree, and someone will come. You get that. It's on. you get that degree, and then you get that degree. What was I even wanted to say? You get that degree, and then looking for a job is difficult simply because those that don't even deserve to be in the position you are even vying for, they are there. Hey, we are that corrupted. Wow, Miss Debbie, you are welcome. What are your thoughts on this? Those that don't deserve the degree, they have doctor. Me, I've said it here in this studio that once I'm done, people call me doctor.
You'll be arrested.
Okay.
Well, unfortunately, it has become the norm of the day where people that do not deserve to be called with some titles give themselves that names. And it started from the basics, and the basic has to do with honorable. An assemblyman, your friend is honorable.
True.
Someone given a position in the government, say maybe the PA to a minister, oh friend or honorable.
Honorable.
A secretary to a minister, you are calling the person honorable.
Honorable.
We do not understand the meaning of these titles. You go to school, you earn it. Some go to school for doctorate degree. Those times, I used to think that be a friend doctor, but it means the person is working in the hospital. But growing up, I got to realize that no, you go to school, you learn it, and then you earn the title. But no, I think some time ago, GTech also complained about some parliamentarians in parliament, 2 parliamentarians that has these titles on them, doctorate, big titles, but then they have no, what's the name? Paper to back it. And if you remember, there was some time where even Malik, they were accusing him that where he said he completed it was a lie, or he should come and prove himself. When they asked him the question, he refused to answer. You get it? So with this doctorate, or we can only bring an end to this whole saga if those people are arrested and then they are made to stop using that kind of names, like titles on them.
That's impersonation, right?
Yes, that's impersonation. Then I think education, creating the awareness of the people is also important. We have educated illiterate. We have people, they're educated, but they are illiterate. They don't really know about these things. So even our parliamentarians, they need to be educated. They need to be educated on certain things. Because you're a member of parliament, it doesn't mean that we can call you doctor, we can call you, once you're from doctor, you get it?
Yeah, you get it. The respect that is given to this person.
But the person is not even doing what he or she is supposed to do as an honorable. But so long as there is this title on the person, then it means the person has to be respected. And that is why there is no fairness in public positions. When someone wants to get a position in government, they look at all these things. So I ask myself, before you are being appointed, they go through all this. So where you got yourself, where you schooled, the course you studied, they go through all these things. So are they trying to say that these people, they didn't scrutinize all these things to ensure that this person title no they born in honor? It wasn't like it wasn't something he or she earned, but it is just a title. I believe they have to they scrutinize all these things. Or does it mean that when the person get there, the person pays an amount of money and be like, oh, they're due for tokoko, and then that ends it. Whether you see it or not, you are not going to say anything. So far as the person is giving money to buy cocoa, it means when the person is doing the wrong thing, you cannot correct the person, because indirectly the person has become a boss over you. Whatever the person says is what you are supposed to do, because you are earning something from the person. So to cut long story short, all those doing that, they need to be arrested and put at their right place, and then let them know that even this upcoming political science student, the panel or shall say kakra or honorable. Like we need to understand
the honorable.
Yeah.
So in summary, UTAG's demand is a timely and necessary defense of Ghana's academic credibility by pushing GTech to act firmly and legally against fake degree holders. UTAG seeks to preserve academic standards, prevent public deception, and protect the value of education in a time where appearance can easily be manipulated for social and political gains. Thank you for joining us on the news headline review. Up next, we have Debbie's Girl.
This is GhanaTalks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
Welcome to Debbie's Grill, where we talk about issues that concern the state, void of politics, fear, or favor. Now, this morning, I want us to discuss something very important, something that is key, not only to Ghana, but all African countries. Now, let me say that one of our African countries is on fire as it stands now, and that has to be Togo, our neighboring country. Let me say that Togo is a sister to Ghana, or Togo is a brother to Ghana, and so whatever is going on indirectly, ebi subeka and kakra. Now, foreign Nasingbe must fall. Togo is not a family property. So this is what is going on in Togo. I stand to be corrected. Foreign Nasingbe is the current president of Togo, and he has ruled for 20 years. Now, his dad ruled for 38 years. After his dad ruled 38 years, he came into power. So it's like it's a family heritage. It's something more or less like a kinship heritage. And so if your dad is no more, then it means your son has to take over what you were doing before. And so Foreign Nasingbe came into power, and then he was in power for 20 years. So combining these 20 years to his father's 38 years, it means that the family, the Foreign Nasingbe family has been in power for 58 years. And so this is it. It's time for him to step down. But he wants to revise the constitution in a way that will favor him to stay in power for a longer period of time. And then when he stays for a long period of time, after he is no more, it means his son or maybe any family member, whoever is in the family, will take over from him. And so looking at all this, you see, the problem is, even if you stay for 20 years and then you've done something profitable to the country, I'm sure that the Togolese will not go on the street to protest. But you've been in power for 20 years and the Togolese are complaining that there is nothing working out, there is nothing going on, the network connectivity is bad, and a whole lot. And so they went on the street to protest against their president, to step down, that they are not going to sit down and then keep their fingers crossed for him to to revise the constitution and then extend his stay in government. And this is where all Africans have a role to play. Now I want to ask a question. Why is it that Africa, when it comes to leadership position, we become so selfish? You are in power for 20 good years, whether 20 bad years, 20 worse years, you were in power for 20 years. Step down, I will say that. And I saw a video where some of these Togolese were saying that, they have a cordial relationship with President Mahama, but why is he not learning everything? Why is he not learning from the country? Yeah, they're so, but at least they are using us as an example. Democracy. You see, the reason why I said democracy is not good for we the Africans, because the way we were brought up with an issue. So if you're bringing something normal, like, it doesn't move us. And it's sad that African leaders, we have this archaic mindset. You were in power for 20 years, step down for someone to take over, you said no. Nothing is going on World 2. And then it's as if that the possession of that country is in the box of only one person. We have ECOWAS, we have African Union, they are quiet. These are the time they are supposed to speak up. What is the use of ECOWAS? What is the use of African Union? If they cannot speak against things like this. And then you only hear ECOWAS and the African Union coming up to speak whenever there is coup. As for coup, they can talk about it and tell you that, oh, it's not good for democracy. It's not good for democracy, but you were quiet. So someone overstaying for 20 years is good for democracy. A whole family being in power for 58 years is good for democracy. The fact is, even if you are in power for 20 or 58 years, and then everything is going on well, I mean, there are employment everywhere, the people, the citizens are feeling, I mean, the comfortability of the country, and there is no pressure, then we can say that, well, at least it's good. Even if they are staying for 30 years, they've done something profitable for the nation. But this is what the Togolese are saying. Nothing is going on well. And ECOWAS is quiet. AU is quiet. But trust me, let there be coup in Togo right now. They will bring out a notice cautioning them to go back to democracy, and that democracy is good. Democracy is not, today I'm stating it here, that democracy is not good for Africans. Democracy is not good for us. African countries will be celebrating Independence Day, but let's face the reality. Are we really independent as Africans? The answer is no. We are not independent. We are not. Because we claim to be independent, but then someone is still controlling us. And we think that is normal. And it's just like if everywhere is quiet. No one wants to say anything. ECOWAS is not only about you going, sitting down and then discussing how, I mean, we are going to promote development in other African countries. No. Issues like this, they are supposed to talk about it. You are supposed to support your own. Or should we say that the ECOWAS and the African Union is being intruded by a powerful hand, unseen powerful hand, that is not known to us? Is that what we should call it? Because it is only a wicked person. I believe it is only a wicked person that will stay in power for 20 years without doing anything profitable. And then you want to revise the constitution for your own benefit again. It is only a wicked person that will do that. Because I'm sorry to say this, no normal thinking human being will do this. And you should also understand that it is this same people's money. It is the taxpayers' money, the state's money, that they are using in your well-being. As a president, you don't pay for fuel. I don't know how their constitution is, but I know definitely you won't pay for fuel. I know certain things you are going to enjoy certain benefits. And as you are enjoying those benefits, the citizens are ensuring that you are safe. So that you can also think about their well-being. But in a case where they are thinking about you and the only thing you have in mind is to enrich yourself and your family, then how are we going to develop as an African country? This is not only Togo, but then it can happen in any other African country. We can mention African countries that are, as it stands now, they are being ruled by the military because they felt like the democracy and let's be sincere, it's not helping us. Today there is change of government, tomorrow there is change of government. They come in and the only thing they do is to enrich themselves. The only thing they do is to loot from the state. And you as a citizen, you have no say. Immediately you want to say something, then they are coming after you. Immediately you want to talk or say something, they are coming after you. But that is not how it's supposed to be. So why are we seeing this now? It's very, very sad. Very, very sad. It's very sad. Our African leaders, they don't think about us, so the only thing they think about is themselves. And immediately the person gets power, that ends it. So basic form. You will protest and protest. 20 years they are there. And as I said, if you are to be doing something profitable, it will make sense. And it's not surprising, 99 of African countries look at our leaders, they are old. Some of them are in their 80s, some of them are in their 90s, some of them are in their 70s. And they go for retreats, they go for a program, and then you see a whole president dozing. I saw a video where an African country, I'm not going to mention the name of the African country, the president was giving mic to talk. He was asking his PA, what are they saying? In front of the whole congregation. In your 90s, in your 80s, you are supposed to retire. That is how God created a system. You are supposed to retire, go home, rest, and allow the youth with fresh blood rule the country, rule the nation. We are tired of this. 80s, 90s, and then it is quite surprising that even if a youth is standing as a president, we the youth, we will not vote for them. You know why? Because they've manipulated our mindset. Because of the 20,000 or 2,000 or 1,000 they will give you to buy porridge, so it's okay. See, 99% of African countries, let a youth stand as a president, they will not vote for him. They will go in for someone who is in his 90s, someone who is in his 70s, someone who is in his 80s. Excuse me, that cannot, you get it? Why won't that person stay in power for so long and then think of revising or reviewing the constitution in his or her own benefit? Definitely they will do that. And it's about time we rise. We the youth, we have to rise. We have to think. We have to think ahead. Our leaders are doing us more harm than good. We have to realize this and start working towards it. If not, that is going to hunt us back in the future. Today is in Togo. Tomorrow we don't know where that is going to happen. If the constitution is saying that you are supposed to be in power for 4 years, after 4 years move out, let another person comes in. Thank you for making time with me on Debbie's Grill.
Thank you so much, Miss Debbie, for that, girl. Miss Regina, today in history.
Today in history, Ghana celebrates Republic Day on July 1st. This day commemorates the establishment of Ghana as a republic in 1960, transitioning from a constitutional monarchy to a republic within the Commonwealth. It also coincides with Senior Citizens Day in Ghana. On July 1st, 1984, the Motion Picture Association of America, which oversees the voluntary rating system for movies, introduces a new rating, PG-13, eventually changed to PG, that is parental guidance suggested. The RH limit was raised to 17, and on July 1st, 1984, the PG-13 category was added to indicate film content with a higher level of intensity. According to the MPAA, The content of PG-13 may be inappropriate for a kid under 13 years old and may contain very strong language, nudity, strong, mildly bloody violence, or mild drug content. Kobe Bryant, accused of sexual misconduct. A female employee at a Colorado resort goes to police to file sexual misconduct charges against basketball star Kobe Bryant on this day, 2003. A few days later, an arrest warrant was issued for Bryant, and the ensuing case generated a media frenzy. 19-year-old employee at the resort agreed to show Bryant around, and he later invited her to his room. The two reportedly flirted and kissed. However, the accuser claimed that when she decided to leave, Bryant became upset and sexually assaulted her. The following day, July 1st, she went to the police to file a complaint. Bryant was questioned by the authorities and provided a DNA sample. On July 3rd, an arrest warrant was issued for the basketball player, who the next day turned himself into authorities in Eagle County, Colorado, and was released on $25,000 bail. On July 18th, with his wife by his side, Bryant held a news conference in which he admitted to having sex with the accuser but maintained it was consensual. Moving on, the International Criminal Court established to prosecute individuals for genocide, war crimes, and crimes against humanity. It began its sentence on July 1st, 2002, after the Rome Statutes, which founded the court, entered into force following ratification by 60 countries. The ICC is based in The Hague, Netherlands. The Crown Colony of Hong Kong officially reverted to Chinese sovereignty. The handover of Hong Kong from the United Kingdom to the People's Republic of China was at midnight on 1st July 1997. This event ended 156 years of British rule in the former colony, which began in 1841. This day is observed as International Joke Day. It is an annual event that celebrates the arts of joke telling and humor. This special day encourages people to share their best jokes, laugh heartily, and spread joy everywhere they go. Lastly, this day is also observed as National Financial Freedom Day. This day raises awareness about financial freedom and how it may improve your financial stability. Financial freedom is controlling one's finances, covering expenses, and saving for future goals. And that's all for today. And today in history and observances of the day, live on GhanaTalks Breakfast Show.
Thank you so much, Miss Regina Bless. Today is National Joke Day. Is it world or national? World Joke Day. So today, make someone laugh. Make sure you make someone laugh. Yeah. Spread positivity. Make somebody laugh today. Make sure you'll be able to. Alright. This is where we draw the curtains for the first segment of the GhanaTalks Breakfast Show. Right after this, we'll be coming up with the news. And after the news, we'll be coming up with the main discussion. Please stick and stay with us.
Hello Ghana, hello worldwide, and I'm with the level band. Now listen, every Tuesday and Friday, beyond the time it's going to carry Braille, our GhanaTalks Radio, 7 p.m. sharp. Now Tuesday, we're going to talk about our culture, our history. My 20 things about Sam. Now on the Friday, you bars on bars. You better rap, you better say, no artists go join me in the studio. We're going to discuss about music and business. Code Konya, or you singer, and now you rapper, you think say you get bars. You go fi spit fire now. Listen, make you join me with studios. Our Ghana Talks Radio, and yes, say then our day. Me say download the Ghana Talks Radio app, no, our Play Store, any App Store. Not tune in, and say this what you see, Baba Live on Facebook, Cointakra, any Ghana Talks Radio page, and so now listen. Ebe your fire, 1 year, Konya, Wading, Jajan.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with Ghana Talks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With Ghana Talks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. Ghana Talks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. Ghana Talks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
This is Ghana Talks Radio, the best station rocking the nation. We bring you local news, business news, international, sports, and entertainment news. Right here on GTR.
Good morning and welcome to the morning news broadcast live on Ghana Talks Radio. Coming up, Gold Board launches crackdown on illegal gold trading. Albert Jumfor re-elected as Ghana Journalists Association president. Ex-GHOG boss accused of hiring unqualified staffs. These and many more coming up shortly in business, sports and showbiz. The Ghana Gold Board has cracked down on illegal gold trading. The Gold Board has announced the full implementation of a new gold trading licensing regime, which requires all entities to obtain a license to trade gold legally. A special task force will be launched on July 8, 2025 to clamp down on illegal gold trading. According to the Ghana Gold Board Act 2025, Act 1140, offenders may be liable to a fine of 50,000 penalty and a term of imprisonment of not less than 5 years. The aim is to formalize the gold trading sector, maximize revenue, and promote responsible gold trading. Another story, Albert Jumfor has been re-elected as president of Ghana Journalists Association with a significant majority securing 445 votes. This marks his second term as president. Jumfor defeated his opponent Charles Yao Mausi, who garnered 245 votes. Rebecca Ekpe of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation defeated Mary Mensah of Graphic Communications Group as the vice president. The newly elected executives will serve a 3-year term focusing on media reforms, journalist warfare, and freedom press. Moving on, the former managing director of GHOG is facing allegations of mismanagement and corruption. According to recent claims, he employed people with senior high school certificate to head department with monthly salary of 25,000. The deputy CEO of GHOG, Magdalene, accused him of stealing 40,000 weekly from the company. In business, some tax analysts are calling on the Ghana Revenue Authority to review the 3% flat rate applied to businesses with annual sale of 20,000, arguing that the threshold is too low. The call comes amid the rollout of several new tax policies, including the modified taxation scheme, which takes effect today, July 1st. The scheme targets informal sector workers across the country. Speaking in an interview, tax analyst Francis Boy acknowledged the Ghana Revenue Authority effort in implementing the scheme, but emphasized the need to revisit the flat rate threshold. The threshold of 20,000 is quite low. It should be increased slightly to exempt very small businesses. Imagine 3% of 20,000. That's just 600 for the entire family. That's very little. A higher threshold will make it more sense, he said. Despite his concern, he praised the broader initiative, noting its potential to expand the tax base and reduce the overall tax burden in the long term. If we are able to broaden the tax base, you will see that current tax rate can actually come down. The reason government keeps introducing higher rates and consumption taxes is because too few people are in the tax net. Mr. Boy also expressed concern over the scheme mid-year rollout, highlighting the limit time available for businesses to adjust and comply. We have just 6 months left in the year, and it seems there has not been enough sensitization. Initially, we are likely to see resistance from small businesses, since many of them are being taxed for the first time. He stressed the need for a more intensive public education campaign and suggested that future rollout begin at the start of the calendar year. More sensitization is key. Ideally, implementation should begin in January to give government a full year to collect revenue and give businesses time to adapt. So it's better late than ever. If executed well, this scheme could significantly broaden the tax base and over time reduce rates on other tax categories. The modified taxation scheme applies to different categories of businesses based on their annual income. Small businesses earning less than 20,000 a year will pay a fixed amount of every quarter up to 45 cedis. Business earning between 20,000 and 5,000 a year will pay a flat tax rate of 3% on their total annual sales. Businesses earning above 500,000 a year will be taxed using graduated rate and allowed to make deduction based on their expenses. Tax payments can be made through mobile money or at the bank. Business owners can register for the scheme to any Ghana Revenue Authority or through the Ghana Revenue Authority app. Still on business news, the Hess has bowed out as Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement System Limited, effective today, July 1st, 2025. This marks the end of a nearly 20-year term that helped reshape Ghana financial technology landscape. Akehais joined JEBS in 2007 as General Manager for Project and Business Development and played a pivotal role in building foundational payment infrastructure across the country. He oversaw the implementation of major systems, including the e-switch biometric card platforms, the check code line clearing system, Ghana Automated Clearing House, and the Ghana Link National Switch for domestic card transactions. Under his leadership, JEBS launched the JEBS Instant Pay platform in 2015, revolutionizing interbank payment and paving the way for mobile money interoperability interoperability in 2018. These systems have become central to Ghana's digital payment ecosystem, facilitating seamless transfers across banks and mobile wallets. In 2022, he led efforts in collaboration with the Ghana Association of Banks to roll out Ghana Pay, a shared mobile money platform aimed at boosting financial inclusion and expanding digital banking services through traditional banks. His leadership saw JEPS evolve from a government-supported institution into a financially independent and sustainable entity, reinforcing its role in supporting the Bank of Ghana's cash-light agenda. Following his exit, the board has appointed Kwadwo Intim, General Manager of the Operation and Technology, as acting CEO. The Ghana Interbank Payment Settlement System is a wholly owned subsidiary of the Bank of Ghana. It was incorporated in May 2007 with a mandate to implement and manage payment system infrastructures for bank and non-bank financial institutions in Ghana. JEPS is also committed to maintaining very high standards of excellence, reliability, integrity, and timeliness for all its infrastructure. Payment infrastructure is currently used by all banks in Ghana, including the RNB Apex Bank and its affiliates, savings and loans companies, mobile money operators, FinTech, and other third-party payment providers. Reports from Ghana Meteorological Agency has it that the early hours of this morning will be dominated by mostly cloudy weather with misty or 4G conditions, reducing visibility over the coastal, mountainous, and forest areas. However, there are chances of slight to moderate rains along the coast, island areas, and parts of the northern sector. As the day advances, partly cloudy conditions will prevail across all sectors, with the possibility of thunderstorms and rain affecting parts of the north, transition, middle, and coastal sectors later in the day into the evening. Some affected areas include Aflao, Accra, Kaswa, Cape Coast, Takoradi, Axim, Ho, Koforidua, Axim, Akemoda, Kumase, Oboase, Takwa, Seshrebekwai, Ketakrachi, Kintampo, Gwoso, Sunyane, Techiman, Yendi, Tamale, Bole, Damongo, Bolgatanga, Nalerigu, and Wa. And that is how we end it for now on the morning news broadcast. I will be back with subsequent news bulletin later in the afternoon. My name is Deborah Adosu. Do have a good morning.
Ghana Talks Radio, #1.
Hello Ghana, hello worldwide, and I'm with level band. Now listen, every Tuesday and Friday, beyond the time it's going to carry bro. Our Ghana Talks Radio, 7 p.m. sharp. Now Tuesday, we're gonna talk about our culture, our history. Matuni ding se tete abakwa sem. Now on the Friday, you bars on bars. You better rap, you better say it. No artists go join me in the studio. We're gonna discuss about music and business. Konya, or you singer, and now you rapper, you think say you get bars. You go be spit fire. Now listen, make you join me with studios. Our Ghana Talks Radio, and yes, say then our day. Me say download the Ghana Talks Radio app, no, our Play Store and the App Store. No tune in, and say this is what you say. Baba live on Facebook, Cointakra, any Ghana Talks Radio page, and this now listen. About your fire, 1 year, Konya, Wading, Jajan.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with Ghana Talks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With Ghana Talks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. Ghana Talks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. Ghana Talks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
Ghana Talks Radio, #1.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare,
Regina Bless,
Deborah Adoso,
and I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Ghana Talks Radio, #1.
Ghana Talks Radio, your #1 station for your most relevant news and content making waves in the capital. My name is Pakwesi Omare. A beautiful good morning to you wherever you are listening and watching us from. It's a new day, but then it's a new month. This month, this is the beginning of the second half of the year. This is where you go hard. This is where you go all in. This is where you look back and see what you didn't get right in the first half. Put things in place. And yes, you maximize your commitment in the second half of the year. This morning we'll be looking at some pretty interesting topics in the studios, and yeah, I'm fortunate to have
This is Ghana Talks Radio, the best station rocking the nation.
The NPP's communications member in the studio. He is also a social activist. He has been around, he left, but he's back again. Yes, we know the people who are so committed to helping to build the country to where it needs to be. A very vibrant youth. Some people move out of the country and they forget where they come from, but not this one. He left. He, even though he hasn't been around, he has still been doing a lot in the country for his constituency, for his party. I mean, these are the people that we need to encourage. Yes, these are the people that we need to encourage. People that remember where they always come from. They try to give back to those who put them where they are today. And with not much to say, I will introduce my first guest, the NPP's youth wing member, a social activist, and an astute communicator, Mr. Donko Wesley. Wes.
Amari.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Akwaba.
Yeah, Eja.
Wako shesu no ni mwa but sign the waba.
Kakra, Eja. Ekobong makakra na ya beto asufia na Eja yesa.
But I mean, you are welcome once again.
Thank you, sir.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
We held the elections. Your party unfortunately lost. Yes. 6 months down the line, we just entered the 7th month.
Yes.
How do you see things now? I mean, prior to the change of government.
Yeah. So let me pick from the shock.
Yeah.
So it was unfortunate that my party couldn't emerge a winner during the last elections, and then some of us, we feel guilty in one way or the other because some of us were not around to support the party during the difficult times, especially at the last minute of the campaign and stuff.
Yeah.
So some of us, we feel guilty about that, and then but hope is not lost. We are here, but you see, this change in government, I've been saying from the past 6 months now that there is nothing new. it is not something that somebody would anticipate for something we've not seen before. Everything we've seen already. Yeah, the man in government now is somebody who has been a president of the republic before, a vice president of the republic before, a cabinet minister. He's been an MP for his constituency, and also even assembly member. So this is an experienced